Welcome to the latest edition of ChangeTalks. Today I'm talking to Joseph O'Connor, and I'm sure many of you would have read his books that have included Introduction to NLP and How Coaching Works. Joseph has an international coaching training company called the International Coaching Community and has personally trained over 1,000 coaches over a 10-year period. Joseph is also a practicing coach and works worldwide, specialising in working with executives within the financial sector. As you can see, Joseph is well positioned to know what it takes to be an expert coach, and in this interview we go into finding out exactly what qualities you need to be the best coach that you can be.
I wouldn't mind asking, just to get a little bit about your history within coaching and NLP.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the medium-sized version. My original training was as a concert classical guitarist, right. And I also used to teach people guitar. By the way, are you recording this, or are you?
I am, yes, I am.
Okay. So start again. My initial work was as a concert classical guitarist, and I also taught guitarists, some very good ones. And there was always a couple of questions that intrigued me. One was, how do you teach people, or how do they learn? Because you can't talk about teaching without learning, so the two go together. So it's not just about teaching people, but actually helping them learn. That was the first thing. Second thing was, how do you help people be the very best they can? Especially in stressful situations, because I was teaching people to perform in concert. I was performing myself in concert. The classical guitar is a very delicate and sensitive instrument. You put your finger a quarter of a centimetre in the wrong direction and you get a wrong note or a buzz or something, which is then audible to everyone in the auditorium. So there's a lot of pressure, or there can be a lot of pressure. So I'm teaching very good players, and I'm noticing that at least 20 or 30% of their effectiveness in concert is not about how good they are or how capable they are. It's about what you might call performance anxiety, or the kinds of pressure they put on themselves, the context, the environment, kinds of beliefs and thinking that they have. So even for me, the way that they played when I was out of the room and the way that they played when, teacher was there was quite different and usually much worse. So these are very good people. There's no question about their capability. The capability doesn't change the moment I walk in the room. The question is, what are they doing to themselves that's stopping them from performing at their best?
Okay.
And although the artistic performance is a kind of sharp and obvious situation, I believe that this happens throughout. It's about the CEO in a difficult meeting. It's about the salesperson doing an important presentation. It's about the manager interviewing people. It's about everybody. It's about how can they be their best, particularly under stress, because that's usually where it counts the most. So those kinds of questions, first of all, got me into NLP. And I did lots of courses on NLP, and I trained NLP and wrote books on NLP, lots of books on NLP, because that's one way that it's one of my learning strategies, is to actually write about it. The book has to teach me something. I don't just sit down and write what I know. I sit down and discover what's interesting and out there and that I didn't know, so that I can put it into an interesting book.
And when you first wrote your introducing NLP, because that's seen as the main textbook for people beginning NLP, what kind of developments have you seen within the field since you first wrote it and subsequent editions that followed?
Well, I don't think there's been very much additions to NLP as such. I think that the basic models are still in place. There's been some sophistication around them. I think that there's been some focus on the blind spots of NLP. And NLP has a number of blind spots. One is the body, the physical. Another is the social. So, there's been some more work done on that. And there's also been some more sophisticated ideas gone into the original ones around the meta model, the Milton model, and submodalities, etc. Various sorts of sophistications. So, and of course, a lot of modelling projects, which is absolutely as it should be, because NLP is a model methodology. So lots and lots of new modelling projects. That, I wouldn't say that was a development of NLP itself. It's an application.
Right. Okay. And so it's looking more at the blind spots that where the development has come from the NLP side of it.
Well, NLP has lots of definitions, but one of the definitions is the study of the structure of subjective experience. Now, if you're going to study the structure of subjective experience, you're necessarily going to be inside a particular domain. If you know integral quadrants, Ken Wilber's quadrants, this is the individual inner top left. So NLP is fairly situated in that. It links with behavior. It doesn't link very well with the social aspect, because NLP is quite an individualistic, goal-oriented psychology, model of psychology. So it tends to ignore both developmental aspects and also social aspects. And that's fine, because it's not really within its remit and definition. And it also doesn't do very much with the systems, the kind of external systems that people do, the political, the economic, social systems that come up. And that's okay. So I think NLP's gone into that a bit more, and found more applications. I think that's the quick and easy answer.
Okay. And you specialise in working with executives from the financial sector. And when you work in this area, what are the common areas that you find they want work on? And how long would you typically spend working with that individual in that area?
Well, first of all, let me clarify that NLP is not coaching, that I see myself as a coach that uses some aspects of NLP, but uses lots and lots of other things as well. I think NLP is a particular technology, methodology, way of looking at things, which is extremely useful in coaching, but it's not the only way. And I don't do NLP, quote unquote techniques, especially not with financial executives. Yeah, it just doesn't match them. So, but the linguistic skills, the analysis of questions, of course, rapport, all the work around values and beliefs and goals, this is extremely good, extremely useful in coaching. And for me, coaching is a really excellent, very practical application of some of the NLP models, and together with, as I say, lots of other models too. With regard to clients, there'll be a number of things. I mean, if I'm working with individual executives, it's going to be something of a mixture. There's going to be the straightforward business stuff of, how do I work with my team? Let's go through this 360 evaluation together. Got a difficult meeting with my boss. I've got a difficult client here. Those sorts of things.
Right. Okay.
That's the first thing. Second thing is that will inevitably branch into wider questions of life balance, values, what's important to me. Should I take this job, this departmental head, because then it'll mean I'll be further away from my family, or whatever. So there's of course a natural overlap with what you might call life coaching, but really, work is part of life. But you're there. The main job for the business coach, of course, the executive coach, is to help them in their executive capacity. And then there's the wider issue around leadership, which is particularly important for me. Authentic leadership, whereby there's a tremendous dilemma of executives, especially in the financial industry, whereby they have an unremitting pressure to look short-term profit orientation. 3 months, here come the profit figures. We've got to hit the profit figures in the 3 months. 3 months is a ridiculously short amount of time to try and run a business in. And if you're going to try and hit figures every 3 months, you're inevitably going to lose out on other aspects. So, but you've got to do it. So on one side, you've got to attend to this profit aspect, and you've got to look short term, and you've got to be very good at that. And you've got to look to the long term, and you've got to develop your people. So you have a short term, long term dilemma, and you have a profit people dilemma. And the balance of this is crucial. And those executives that fall into the first one, where they go all profit and short term, lose out on the people, the business isn't sustainable, they're not effective leaders. And the people who lose out on the long term, develop their people, go long term but miss the short term, they're much better leaders, much more sustainable, but then they often lose their jobs because they're not hitting the figures. So
and
it's...
Do they notice that, or is that something you notice that you open their eyes to when you're coaching them?
It's a distinction that I've noticed and that I've come across a lot, and I think it's inherent in business at the moment. Of course, I have certain distinctions that are important to me. I don't try to force people into my distinctions. But I do find that this comes up a lot.
Right, okay. And in the last few years or so, have you seen in the corporate sector people's openness to having a coach? Have you seen the demand diminish or grow within the last few years?
Openness to have a coach has grown, no doubt about it. And there's a number of reasons for this. One, of course, is coaching's become more popular, more mainstream. Secondly, it's got academic respectability, which is something that NLP doesn't have. Thirdly, it's very pragmatic. Fourthly, there's a tremendous pressure now to get measurable metrics and results from coaching. You can't just go in and, say the HR manager can't go to the CEO and say, I think we'll get a coach in here. We've heard good things about it and it seems to be a good idea. Let's do it. Yeah, okay, sure. They've got to put a business case to this, and anecdotal evidence about how good a coach is and how well they got on with them is not good enough. So there's an increasing drive towards metrics, towards measurability, towards, what is the coach going to do for my business, as opposed to let's get a nice person in so that my executive can chat with them and feel better. So there's that thing. There's also coaching, at least what I try and do, and I see this growing, is coaching should be perceived as a reward and not a punishment, because there is still an idea that, you're not doing well, you better have a coach. Oh, no, please, not a coach. No. I promise I'll do better. Just don't give me a coach. And that's crazy. Coaching is a reward. Coaching is a way of developing the best people, and the kind of leadership coaching that I do is very much about, developing the best people for the leadership roles of the future.
Right, okay, brilliant. And someone that wants to get into executive coaching, but not necessarily have that corporate experience, what would you advise to be the first steps for them to, generate a path into that area, or would you probably steer them more in a direction that's a bit easier to get into, maybe?
Well, why would anyone want to be an executive coach? I think it's important to follow your heart here anyway, so that you're not thinking, oh, I'll be an executive coach. It seems like a good idea. It's more like, I want to be an executive coach. This really pulls me. This really attracts me. I really want to do this. I really see a need. I really want to serve in this area. I think that's absolutely crucial. And if you do, and you don't have corporate experience, then it's more difficult, because certainly at the executive level, people do pay attention to that. It's not just about, I can coach anybody at anything. It's not like that. First of all, you don't have credibility, and secondly, if you don't have the elementary business distinctions that the executive will take for granted, you won't be able to help them. So I would say, to be an executive coach, you do need a background in business. Now, how you go about getting that, there are many, many, many ways, but I think you do need something like that.
Do a lot of your clients come from referrals now because of the experience that you've generated?
Yes. At an executive coaching level, I think where you're dealing with individuals who are high up in the company, the the work of getting clients it's no good just, putting on your website, I'm an executive coach, call me. you know, you've got to go in there. You've got to go meet people. You've got to take up the chances. You've got to go and network. You've got to join groups. You've got to, go to business functions. You've got to get out there and meet people. And that's how business is generated. And it can take a long time to generate a few clients. But we're talking about executive coaching here, or I am. I'm not talking about other types of coaching where the things may be different.
No, absolutely. And you're also a trainer as well, and you train a good deal of coaches over the years now. And what do you see? What do you look for when you're training these people to let you know that the people that are coming out of these trainings are proficient in what they're doing?
Well, myself and my wife and partner Andrea Lages, we founded the International Coaching Community in 2001. We've trained over, not personally, but together with our network of coaches, we've trained over 6,000 coaches, probably approaching 7,000 now, in 60 countries. It's the second or third largest coaching organization in the world. So we've trained a lot of coaches, and we've trained a lot of trainers to train coaches. And, you can't go through any kind of training program, however long, and at the end of it go, yes, I'm a coach. That's it. I've qualified. I don't need to do anything else. It's the start. It's the beginning. So we're looking for a certain humility right from the start. Anyone goes, oh, now I'm a coach. I'm ready for anything. I don't need any more training. I don't think so. So there's that. There's also, of course, they need to be proficient in the tools of coaching, the main tools of coaching, which are around goals, listing client goals, value, beliefs, this sort of thing. The connection with the client is critical. The presence of the coach, the ability to listen, to be with somebody. And the ability to get commitment from the client. These are very important. So we certainly have a kind of checklist of competencies as such. But the whole thing, the coaching being a person-to-person thing, human being to human being, there's always something inevitable about it. There's always something artistic about it. There's always something that you can never capture in any kind of list of competencies. So we use our intuition. And we also hope that the coaches use intuition too. So it's quite a mixture. It's a mixture of competences. It's a mixture of intuition and commitment and presence.
Okay. And you train all over the world by on your website about where these trainings take place.
Yeah.
So I imagine that there is a training for everyone at any place when on that website. And when you look at the coaches that you've been around and experienced, what would you say are some of the distinctions that you can say that makes a difference between someone that's highly successful and not so successful?
It depends how you measure success, doesn't it?
If we go with someone like a highly effective coach in regards to the results they get, but also one that has a busy practice and such.
Yes, I mean, it tends to go together. A quote-unquote successful coach will have a busy practice, so that, they're making more money, and good for them. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is, yes, the results that they get on many different dimensions, the results that they get person to person, how far they affect a person's life in this kind of human, aesthetic, ineffable way. And if we're talking business coaching, what kind of results do they get for the business? Do they get the results that the business wants? Do they get more than what the business wants? Can they demonstrate a return on investment? All these sorts of things. And if they do all of those things, if they demonstrate a good return on investment, if they have a presence that really helps people, then yeah, they'll get work and they'll make money. And that's, the ideal virtuous circle of how that works. And yeah, as well as that, you've got to put the effort in. It's no good just sitting back and waiting for the work to come. It won't. It's a very, very competitive industry. So, you've got to get out there and work for it as well.
You have to be very proactive, essentially.
Yes, for sure.
So coaches just starting out there and looking to develop a busy practice, what are some bits of advice you would give to them that would increase their chances of really setting a good foundation for themselves?
Well, train well, of course. Get the basics. Have a learning kind of orientation whereby you're always learning about your art and crafts, because coaching is an art and a science. It has certain methodology, and you can learn models on that, but it's also an art. So your experience and how you deal with the world and your world experience is going to add to your presence as a coach and your ability to listen very deeply to what people say and what people don't say. So I would say, do your training, your coach-specific training, absolutely. And then search out new experiences, read lots of different books, search out new experiences, get together with people who are good at what they do, not just in coaching, but in other areas as well. Learn from everybody, be clear about what aspect of coaching you want to go into, because the old saying of you try and please everybody, you please nobody. So it's no good being a coach. I've seen this on the internet. I can coach anybody about anything. It just doesn't make sense. If you think about it, if you've got a problem and you've got two coaches, one who says, I can coach anybody about anything, and the other who says, I specialize in your problem, who are you going to go to? Right? Yeah, absolutely, because everybody's got specific issues. Nobody's just going to go, I think I'll go out and find a coach that can do anything. It's the same as writing a book. If you try and write a book for everybody, you're writing it for nobody. If you try and coach everybody, you're coaching nobody, and you have the biggest amount of competition possible. If you're in a niche, you have competition, of course, but it's limited. If you're going to coach everybody on anything, you have every other coach in the world competing with you. So it doesn't make sense. So, I would say, choose your niche that really works for you, where you really want to go, that you're really attracted to, that you really think you can serve, and you have something of value to give, and work for it.
Okay. And on that point, slightly, you've chosen the financial sector, essentially. And was that because of experience, or did you start coaching people and you found that the majority of them were in the financial sector, so you decided to take that path?
It was a bit of both. I found that a lot of my clients were in that sector, and also it was a sector that attracted me. I like the sector. I think it's a fascinating sector, and I like the people in it. And what with every other headline these days about financial sector and the banks and what's going on here, clearly the financial sector and the banks are a huge leverage point for good. Because, if the financial sector can mess up and bring us to such a difficult situation, then equally the financial sector, by doing well, can make life fantastic. So it's got to be, at least at the moment, one of the prime leverage points for a better life and a better world.
And it must have been quite an interesting few years for you, being within that domain of the financial sector.
It's not over yet.
And speaking about that, what are your future plans? Do you have any more books on the horizon or anything like that?
Yeah, Andrea and I are writing. We have a book commissioned by AC Black on authentic leadership. So authentic leadership is, what we coach, and it's not just about financial sector, but it's about being able to There's so many books on leadership, I know, but because times change and times evolve and business evolves, the leadership models of the past just aren't working anymore. You need something a little bit more. So this idea of authentic leadership for us is very exciting. We're writing on that, and we're also putting together some trainings at the mastery level of coaching, so that coaches who are very good already can learn and experiment with some the equivalent of a kind of PhD. It's not a PhD, but that is kind of equivalent in coaching of the real top end mastery.
Okay. And where would people be able to find that when that comes into play?
Well, we're going to be setting up a Master Coach Academy, and that'll be announced probably on its own website. I think mastercoachacademy.com, and also on our web pages, lambent.com and internationalcoachingcommunity.com.
Will it be in the UK or elsewhere?
It'll be in the UK.
Brilliant. That's good news.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that ends the questions that I have, Joseph. Thanks a lot for that. I'm conscious that you need to get out by 10. So thanks a lot for your time, and this interview will definitely be helpful for a lot of people. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I hope it will be helpful. It's limited in time, but I think I've said most of the important things that at least interest me. Do I get a copy of the MP3?
Yeah, I can send a copy to you. It should be up on the website next week, and but I will send you a copy of it in the email.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Excellent. Many thanks.
Thanks a lot, Joseph.
Thank you. Bye-bye.